Even liberal media is now fact-checking Biden. Here's a clip.
I had the great honor of being arrested with our UN ambassador on the streets of Soweto.
Angelo Negri, a senior conductor, walked up and said, "Joey, baby," grabbed my cheek. I said, "Ange," I said, "he's okay, he's a friend." It's a true story. There were these two well-dressed men standing on the corner, the light changed.
Corn pop.
Kissed each other, and I'd never seen that before. I looked at my dad. He looked back at me and said, "It's simple. They love each other."
No,
my grandpa, who I never
lies.
met, he died in the same hospital I was born in 2 weeks before I was born. I almost lost my wife, my 67 Corvette, and my
This is
cat.
a Maui.
Those
Biden
are
is
just
terrible.
some of President Biden's favorite personal stories that are getting fact-checked by the Washington Post, which points out that Biden has continued a tradition of embellishing his personal tales in ways that cannot be verified or are directly refuted by contemporary accounts.
Fox News contributor and columnist for The Messenger, Joe Concha, joins us now. Joe, what I really wish is that Glenn Kessler, the chief fact-checker for the Wash Post, would just say, you know what, he's just a flat-out liar.
Thank you for that. Glenn Kessler
He should.
here, Ashley, he's simply pointing
he's
out
not
the
gonna.
obvious, right? And the framing here is generous because it's missing that key word. Again, Kessler says throughout his career, Biden's propensity to exaggerate or embellish tales about his life led to doubts about his truthfulness, unquote. So what word is missing here? How about lie? Or liar, or expanding it to 2 words, serial liar, lifetime liar. Let's put this into context. Did you know that the Washington Post fact-checking team during the Trump administration, led by Glenn Kessler, wrote an entire book published by Simon & Schuster called Donald Trump and His Assault on Truth, the President's Falsehoods, Misleading Claims, and Flat-Out Lies. That's the name of the book. So here's my question to Glenn Kessler. When's the book coming on Joe Biden, I wonder, and will you use that same language? Because I have a feeling the answer is never.
No,
a day late, a
not
dime
gonna
short
happen.
on this fact check, and it's just done in a way that's generous, let's put it that way, instead of calling the president for what he is his entire life, and that is a liar.
And, Joe, let me ask you about this. Biden is patting himself on the back on the second anniversary of the Afghanistan withdrawal, no mention of the 13 service members killed. And then now we're learning that he will commemorate 9/11 flying back from Vietnam with the fuel stop in Alaska. What do you make of it?
It's wild.
It shows what we see from this president as far as his age is concerned, right? Where 77% of Americans think that he shouldn't run for president again. So instead of just coming back on 9/11 or readjusting your schedule, given all the lives that were lost that day in New York, in Pennsylvania, and Washington, he'll commemorate it in Alaska, which had very little to nothing to do with 9/11. And it's amazing, by the way, that we have a president, rhetorical twerkingly, by the way, doing an end zone dance 2 years later over his handling of that chaotic, fatal withdrawal out of Afghanistan. He didn't even have the courage to do a speech on it or to speak about it in any capacity. Instead, his handlers wrote a statement for him. I mean, this is the same commander-in-chief that decided it was a good idea to allow the Taliban to handle security out of Kabul airport as far as getting Americans out. And things were so desperate there at the time, as you can see on your screen, that Afghans literally clung to the wings of planes and hoping to get out, only to fall to their own deaths. So when you look at where things went south for this president from a polling perspective, this is where it happened. 2 years ago, where suddenly you saw Joe Biden's incompetence on full display. Let's put it this way. Robert Gates, who was the defense secretary for the Obama-Biden administration, said literally that Joe Biden has been wrong about every foreign policy decision he has ever made. That's Robert Gates saying that. And obviously, Afghanistan is now at the top of that list in terms of those 13 service members that did not need to die that day 2 years ago.
You know, but Joe, my biggest question with this, at bare minimum, where is the sensitivity chip for Biden in this? These were his soldiers. How hard is it to just make aware that, hey, you know what, this happened, that my heart goes out to them and their families? I mean, what is the issue?
Sure.
What is wrong with him?
And that's the thing. In this day and age of social media, he could at least put out a video that takes about 3 minutes to put together to honor these people, to talk to the families who lost their loved ones. Instead, it's a statement written by somebody else. And this is who this president is, right? We saw it in Maui just recently, where he talks about how a small kitchen fire, he claims, nearly killed his wife, his cat, and took his precious Corvette away from him. He tells this story to people that lost everything in a place where hundreds of people are still missing, including children, and he tries to equate it with a kitchen fire he had 20 years ago. This is who this president is. He makes it about himself, and he lies on a continuous basis, and there isn't that sensitivity, that consoler-in-chief gene that we're told that this president has, that no other president has ever had. Give me a break.
And he rages
That's
at his
where we're
staff
at this point. Anyway,
all the
guys,
time.
let's end it on a happy note. You have a happy Labor Day weekend. It's going to be beautiful around here in the Northeast, and I hope that you're not working. I'm certainly not.
I will be
on Monday. I think, actually, are you working Monday, Griff?
I am. I got to give a plug. I'm going to be on the couch in New York on Labor Day, Fox and Friends.
Get it.
So get up, get your Labor Day.
Yeah, interesting. I'll be working on Labor Day. My birthday's on Tuesday, the day after Labor Day, as a matter of fact. I was born on Labor Day, fun fact. But anyways, let's get back to the topic at hand. Yeah, Joe Biden, he's a liar. Everyone knows he's a liar. He plagiarized stuff like in the 80s. When he was running for president, he said he wrote a speech and it was just all a lie, as usual. He lies about all these things. Oh, corn pop. And, well, he probably doesn't lie about the kids rubbing his leg hair. He's such a creeper, too. He's a creeper and he's a liar. And if the media didn't always defend him, he wouldn't be president anymore. He would be impeached with all the stuff that he did, all the Hunter Biden deals and everything. And if we have a segment coming up, they ask him about, hey, can you, what about sharing your bank accounts, Joe? He just thinks it's funny. He laughs about everything. And he kind of just makes a joke out of the Maui thing. Do you think that kitchen fire was even real? And if it was, he's like, lightning hit the pond by my house, and it went into the kitchen and started a fire. I'm like, why would there be a connection to the pond to your house? So I think that was probably just a lie. But even if it wasn't, you had a kitchen fire, and you're like, and it would have killed my cat and my wife. How? They can just leave the house. People in Maui, they couldn't leave. The whole island's burning. They had to jump into water. They had to jump into the ocean to save themselves. And they didn't do the sirens or anything, so a lot of people probably didn't even know what was going on. Apparently, Hawaii in general isn't really tech savvy. So it's awful. So they might not even have had smartphones to have the alert go off. And if you're not watching TV, you're out doing whatever in the yard. You don't know about this. They didn't do sirens. And so it's just awful on everyone's part. And apparently it was power lines that they, under protocol, they were supposed to turn off because it was really windy. No, they didn't. They didn't do it so because the hurricane was passing by. And then they didn't do it. So the power lines broke, and then the grass, a non-native grass that you're supposed to be cutting, keep it managed. They didn't cut it. So what happened? Power lines broke, caused this whole fire. That's the official story right now. So they were trying to say climate change. Now the official story is actually no, just more incompetence. So, and Biden's not talking about that. He's just trying to say, oh, well, it's terrible, but, I had something bad happen too. Yeah, the guy is evil. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe for daily news updates, smash that like button, share this video with your friends, and share your thoughts on the story in the comments below. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.